Okay, now let's look at the language point for text 2. 能愿动词会 the modal verb 会 So the word 会 can be placed before a verb to indicate the knowledge or ability to perform an action that is acquired through learning. So in simpler words, 会 can be translated into can or be able to, but this depends on the context because it is very important that the action after 会 is something you acquire through learning. Let's look at some examples of verbs that can be added after 会. You will find that they are mostly skills that you learn from practice or you learn from having some lessons. For example, 做饭 to cook, 说中文 to speak Chinese, 游泳 to swim. So let me give you an example on the contrary. So you can do something, but this thing is not acquired through learning. For example, I can eat 20 饺子. So this can cannot be translated into 会 in Chinese because I can eat 20 饺子is because I have the stomach for 20 饺子. It's not because I learned how to eat 20 饺子. I understand that this language point is a little bit complicated, but if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section, okay? And we can solve it together. Now let's look at some examples with 会. First, 你会做饭吗? 你会做饭吗? Can you cook? Or do you know how to cook? 我会做面条。我会做面条。I can make noodles. I know how to make noodles. 我不会做菜。我不会做菜。I can't cook. I don't know how to cook. Right. Let's move on to the new words for text 2. First word, 会, can, or be able to. We already explained it before in the language point. Next word, 做饭. If we separate the 汉字, 做 is make, and 饭 means food or meal. So 做饭 is cook. 做 separately means make or produce. So of course, we can add some name of the dishes after 做. So this means to make this dish, to make this food. For example, 做面条, to make noodles. Next word, 面条, noodles. You will notice that 面条 has 3 Chinese characters. But when I read this word, I don't pronounce all of the 3 characters separately, like 面条 No, this is not right. I pronounce it like 面条. So the last Chinese character is united with the second last Chinese character 条. So this habit of speech is actually very common in the northern areas in China, especially in Beijing. And people in the south actually never pronounce words like this. So if you find it hard to pronounce, you can just ignore the at the end of some words. It's simply 面条. Or if you find it interesting, you can of course always pronounce it like people in Beijing, 面条 noodles. Next word, 饺子 dumplings. Next one, 一些 some. And the last one, 菜 So 菜 can be translated into a dish or it can be like a cuisine. For example, 中国菜means Chinese cuisine. So what kind of cuisine do you like the best? I like 中国菜. All right, let's look at text 2. 你会做饭吗？
我会做。
你会做什么？
我会做面条、饺子，也会做一些菜。星期天我也做饭。
Moving on, let's look at the new words for the last text of this lesson. First word, 下班下班 means get off work. So the first 汉字下 actually means off or down. And the next one 班 actually means your shift, your work, your duty. So 下班 means get off work. Next word 新 This means new. Next word 电脑 computer. Also, let's separate the 汉字. 电 means electricity and 脑 means brain. So actually computer in Chinese is electrical brain. 真 really, truly. 真 is usually added before an adjective or a verb to express that you have like a high level of something. 好看 good looking or nice. 好 means good or nice, and 看 means look. So good looking, 好看。喜欢 means like. I like something. For example, 我喜欢饺子. I like dumplings. And the last word, 他 This is the personal pronoun for it, animals or things. Before we explain the text 3, we have a little listening challenge. So listen twice and answer these questions. First question, 黄米米也 Option A, 上班 Option B, 下班 or Option C, 休息 Question 2, 黄米米有一个新 Option A, 名字 Option B, 工作 or Option C, 电脑
米米，下班吗？
下班
这是你的新电脑吗？
是的，是我的新电脑，
真好看。
我也很喜欢它。
米米，下班吗？
下班
这是你的新电脑吗？
是的，是我的新电脑，
真好看。
我也很喜欢它。Alright, so the correct answers are B and C. The first sentence, 黄米米也下班 means 黄米米 also gets off work. Option A, 上班 means go to work, so the opposite of option B, 下班. And option C, 休息 means take a rest. Question 2, 黄米米有一个新电脑 means 黄米米 has a new computer. Option A, 名字 name, 黄米米 has a new name? No. And option B, 黄米米有一个新工作 黄米米 has a new job? Also not right, so the option C is correct. Here you have the complete conversation, and we actually have 2 other bonus questions that you have to answer in Chinese. The first question is, 黄米米的新电脑怎么样? So 怎么样 is actually used to ask how is something. How is the new computer of 黄米米? Maybe you can answer, 黄米米的新电脑真好看. The next question is, 黄米米喜欢她的新电脑吗? Maybe you can answer, 黄米米喜欢她的新电脑. Does 黄米米 like her new computer? 黄米米 likes her new computer. Alright, so to quickly review the vocabulary of Lesson 5, we have a comprehensive exercise. Let's do it together. Pause here and then move on to look at the correct answers. Alright, let's see if you got it right. 今天6月22号. Today is June the 22nd. 黄米米有一个新电脑。黄米米 has a new computer. 王美美 says, 你会做这2个菜吗? Do you know how to make these two dishes? 黄米米 says, 我会做。Yes, I do. 王美美 says, 你的电脑真好看。Your computer is really good looking. It's really nice. 黄米米 says, 我也很喜欢。I also like it very much. Perfect. So at the end of lesson 5, we prepared a little bit of Chinese culture for you guys. So if you are learning Chinese, you absolutely have to try our famous 饺子 or Chinese dumplings. Today, I want to give you a quick, simple introduction to what makes them so special. For Chinese people, making dumplings is rarely a solo activity. It's always a family event. The whole family is gathered around a big table because to make dumpling there are so many processes. So some are rolling the dough, some are mixing the filling, and some are pinching the edges to seal them to make the dumplings. We really value this process because it represents the family reunion. And that is why 饺子 is the must-have food for Chinese New Year. The fillings of the 饺子 are also incredibly versatile, so you can have the classic 猪肉白菜 pork with cabbage, or 韭菜鸡蛋 chives with eggs, a vegetarian option, or 三鲜饺子 which means dumplings of 3 delicacies. So maybe there are some shrimps, maybe there are some mushrooms, maybe there are some vegetables. The possibilities are endless. When we are eating 饺子 in Chinese New Year, there is actually another level of wishing all the good and all the fortune for the new year because the shape of the food is very similar to the ancient Chinese gold ingot or 元宝. So when you are eating dumplings, you are symbolically eating fortune. It's a fun traditional wish for wealth and prosperity. All right, so that's all the content for lesson 5. Here is a little homework. We have 4 pictures and we have to fill in the blanks with the words we learned today to describe these 4 pictures. The last part is the Hanzi chart for lesson 5. We highly recommend you try to recognize these Hanzi for each lesson along the way so you won't find it so hard when we raise the levels. Okay, that's it for lesson 5. See you in lesson 6.